What's up everyone, welcome back one more time. You know the deal, we play Historic Brawl and today we are playing with the Tura Kennyrood. How is this pronounced? Kennyrood? Does anybody know? Please can you tell me in the comments how am I supposed to pronounce that? Well, we are playing this list from subscriber Luca. Once again, fantastic build, a Sorius build. What I really like about this deck is that it's a control deck that also has a token production synergies inside, so it's really fun, and you're going to see it has a very high win ratio. I already have played quite a while with it. I just tuned it up to my preference from the original build, but yeah, it's such a blast to play. We're playing against Muldrotha, the Grave type. We know exactly what Muldrotha is trying to do, and yes, we will try to fight fire with fire. Opponent with an Oracle of the Alpha, trying to put some Power 9 on their deck. I think I'm going to tempo them with Memory Lapse. I don't think we have anything better to do right now, so yeah, I like to make that play. And just pass, holding up the Shark Typhoon to cycle it. Oracle hits the battlefield, and this time we will let that go. Alright, opponent has some Power 9 in their battlefield. And we will cycle Shark Typhoon. So you can go to untap.gg in my description, in the description of this video, and see the stats of this deck. Just a wonderful deck overall. And it's super fun to play it because you're doing controlling stuff, but then you have these token productions and the way to pump the tokens. So you start creating an army, and this deck can win in multiple ways. We can tire our opponent up, fill them up with just counters, but ideally what we want to do is create that army of tokens. Let's see, opponent Tireless Provisioner, we're going to counter that super fast because that is a very valuable creature for them. But they are missing land traps, so I guess, well, we are missing too. I guess if we are missing land traps, we might play the Djinn to reduce the cost of our instants and sorceries in that case. Yeah, we want to hit our lands and we are not doing it. But that's okay. And one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to kill this Oracle right now. Looks like they might have some counter magic in their hand, so if they are having trouble hitting their lands, removing their Scryer could be good. Alright, they have Terra Sunder, so they deal with our Djinn. There it is, the Castle of Vantress. Because now this allows us to play Tura, holding up Pact of Negation. And Pact of Negation creates a token with Tura. So yeah, this is Tura's moment to shine. Maelstrom Pulse. We're going to counter that. And here comes the tokens. This is the fun part of the deck. We have to pay for the pact, but never mind, because we have a little board and we can start attacking them. Down to 17. Yep, super good. If we untap with these cards in hand and this board, we are going to do crazy things. Alright, the Augur of Autumn is here. Let's get a Plains. Another land is great. Because I'm thinking now we can solve the equation, create a 1/1, and I'm just going to look for a removal spell for the Augur. Because that essentially does two things for us. It removes the Augur, which is really good on itself. That's a very valuable creature for our opponent right now. And it also clears the board for our tokens to start attacking. While at the same time we leave up counter spells, so I think that's the most efficient play we can make right now. Attack them for 6 again. And the pressure is on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Potentially 9 power on the battlefield if we counter something. Like Yarok. I mean, at this point I'm countering anything, because then the play is Torrential Gearhulk. Good game, opponent with a good game. Yeah, fantastic. Yes, very nice first game. Here we are back for more Tura Kenny versus Tatiova Bentic Druid. Nice matchup for us. Opponent goes first. Hand looks perfectly awesome. This is a very good hand. We are battling Tatiova, and this hand is especially good for that, because battling versus Tatiova means that we have to ensure that Tatiova never hits the battlefield. That's our task, that's our goal in this matchup. Tatiova never has to resolve, and if it resolves, we have to bounce it right away. So I guess with the cards that we have in hand, we have a good chance against Tatiova. They are passing. We will Faithful Mending. See if we can find something even better. Opponent takes the opportunity to ramp. And we will see. We drew a couple of lands, so I guess we can discard a Darker Wastes. And yeah, we don't need so many lands. Memory Lapse. Alright, more counter magic for Tatiova is great. And I think that we can even now play Midnight Clock. This holds up Fading Hope and Wash Away for us. And the clock starts ticking. One of the sleepers in these decks is always Midnight Clock. When it gets to 12, it will refill our hand. And at that point, it always seems like you're going to win the game. Like, there's no way you can lose when you're drawing a fresh 7 cards grip. But here it is, our opponent doing the ramps, and now that they present this creature land, we can bounce and scry. Slip out the back, not very useful right now. Oh, Archmage Emeritus. This I like to make this play, because Archmage can also start drawing us so many cards. And we are just worried about Tatiova, so holding up Wash Away with just 1 mana is good. Like this. No. You don't resolve. Well, they could have a... Do they have a counter? No, they don't. Sometimes Tatiova players will back Tatiova up with a counter spell, which really makes sense. But now I really like our position. Just a draw spell. Okay, I like this, because we can now go... I guess we can attack first, or 2. Then Memory Deluge plus Memory Lapse. I don't think we run the Cold Steel Heart, no need to do that right now. Because Archmage Emeritus is going to find us so much action. Yeah, Ancient Green Warden, no. That's going to the top of your deck. Draw from Archmage. Ensure the next land. Scud Swarm. Alright, so we will Memory Deluge. Draw from Archmage. Draw 2. Solve the equation. Celestis. Scud Swarm, eh? That's your Shredder. So we can go Island. And probably solve the equation. Find something. I guess Charm could be good. Charm could be good here. I'm not too concerned about Scud Swarm, because they need multiple ways to put multiple lands in the battlefield to make it good. And right now they don't have it. And if they don't have it, maybe we can use Charm to steal the Scud Swarm. But I think that in order to do that, we have to wait, because we have to keep holding counter magic for Tatiova. There's no way I'm ever tapping out versus Tatiova. Ashaya. This we have to counter because Ashaya is a forest. If you remember the greatest song of all time, Ashaya triggers Scoot Swarm and then makes as every other creature will trigger Scoot Swarm. There's a very, very famous song by a very, very famous author explaining exactly how that works. Alright, so no copy of Scoot Swarm. And now I really like it because we can go Wandering Emperor. We can exile this Scoot Swarm, which is tapped. And then probably... what? Just Cold Steel Heart right now? Yeah. And hold up Archmage's Charm. That's another removal spell for Tatiova again. That's it. That's it. When you're playing versus Tatiova, you just need to make sure that she doesn't resolve. If you're not playing a counter, a deck full of counters, then you have to remove Tatiova and hold up removals. Countering is always better. We will let the Wandering Emperor die here.
Still have much to learn.
Because we are planning on using Archmage's Charm. Opponent can make so much mana, it's insane. Alright. Then we will counter it. Draw another card. Look at Archmage Emeritus go. That's such a sleeper. He is carrying us through this game, and I always thought that he looked like the Jinchuriki from Naruto, from the octopus. How was Killer Bee? I don't know. He resembles me. That. Do you also think that? That is so funny. All right, so midnight clock is ticking, and we are very close to 12. You have to pay attention to that. What we can do right now is we could pass with Memory Deluge, but we will have to use the Torrential Gale Hulk, because we will lose the cards in our hand when the midnight clock goes off. So now we punch them for 2, play Ledger Shredder, and do nothing else. No, Faithful Mending could be good, but I think we have to pass holding up Gear Hulk. That Gear Hulk can give us another counter spell for Tatiova. Yeah, because here comes Tatiova one more time. We will Torrential Gale Hulk and get a counter spell from our graveyard. I really think that it can be any of these, right? Like Wash Away, because we're going to play it for free. These counters, Tatiova draws us another card, draws with Ledger Shredder. This deck is so good. This deck is fantastic. We will discard Wrath of God to the Connive because we are going to lose the cards in our hand to the midnight clock, so we might as well Connive and put the counters on the Ledger Shredder. Again, discard Narset. But now they have an Ancient Green Warden, and I think that I can trigger Midnight Clock right now. I don't know what that accomplishes, but I'm going to do it nevertheless. So a fresh grip of cards. Wow, how can we lose from here? There's no chance, right? Like I'm even thinking about playing Elish Norn to shrink their creatures, pump up ours, and see if we can close it this way. There's no way we're losing, right? Like play Elish Norn, resolves. There we go. And now we have a very good attack. We can attack with both creatures. Emeritus? No, because they have a very good double block. And we don't want to lose the MVP of the game. So they take it? Wow, they take it all. Alright, they go down to 4, and we are passing up with Memory Lapse and Disdainful Stroke, so there's no way we can lose, right? They can make so much mana, it's insane. Tatiova one more time. How many times have we countered Tatiova? Like 5 times? Unreal. That's unreal. And look at Archmage. Emeritus, go! He carried us over this game. So hard. Yep, Tatiova one more time denied. It's so much fun, this deck. Wow. They even getting with the Grolnok for the mill value. Rabbit. And I think Hellish Norn is going to eat a frog. I can totally see a Praetor eating a frog, like any day of the week. So yeah, food for Big Mama Hellish Norn. And finally, Day Scoop. Yes! Wow, what a game! Ladies and gentlemen, we continue to play with the Tura Kennyroot versus Prosper. Another beater in Prosper, like a heavyweight. A heavyweight. Prosper, another card that you have to avoid at all costs and really kill at sight. We will mold this hand, not very good. This hand is much better if we find our lands. So there we are. Opponent goes first. Prosper. So Prosper, at the end of their turn, they will exile a card and they will be able to play that card, but when they play cards from exile, they get a treasure, so just a crazy commander. As per usual, with these new legendary creatures of recent sets, we can play Search for Azcanta, start filtering our draws, finding our best spells, finding our lands, eventually flipping into a land. Oh, opponent with the Alchemy Blood Artist. Alright, we will keep this island. And I guess we can go Midnight, no, Celestus, no, Midnight Clock, because as you've seen before, Midnight Clock starts ticking and it's so much value when this gets to 12. This allows us to hold up Fading Hope. So now we go into full control. I don't want to miss the trigger and the opportunity to bounce back. Prosper, go home. Tempo them. Trigger Azcanta. What do we do? I don't really like to get rid of beautiful lands, but I guess we don't need it right now. Huh. Felidar Retreat. That's the one thing about this deck. You have these other cards that will help you create little tokens, and while you're countering spells, you're also deploying threats in the battlefield. So I guess what we can do is we can play Celestus and hold up Archmage's Charm. Yep, I like that play. Opponent with Prosper one more time, and we will counter him as fast as we can. Opponent sending a message with the Blood Artist. Trigger. Jin. Is Jin good here? I don't know if Jin Gitaxias is good in this scenario. I mean, let's fill our graveyard for the Azcanta. Yeah, and you see we draw here Wash Away. So I guess we can take some risks, play Felidar Retreat, and just hold up Wash Away for Prosper. If they have another bomb, then so be it. But yeah, whoa, rewarded for that play. Just exactly what we wanted to happen. Because now Azcanta triggers. I guess I like to keep Restoration. Because Restoration helps us in two ways. It will get us another land to continue develop our mana. This will also trigger Felidar Retreat. And eventually a Ganjo becomes a threat that creates tokens. So that's exactly what I love about this deck, is the fact that you are playing a Azorius controlled shell, but we have all these crazy tokens producers, and we can create a very good board. Very good board. Opponent with Soaring makes the vampire. We can put another counter on the midnight clock. Alright, alright. Opponent removes our token. And Ascanta triggers. Whoa, again, Eldritch Norn. I think I'm supposed to keep her, right? Like, she's so good. She's so good. Yeah, let's keep her. And while these triggers, we don't discard anything, because we are going to reverse rebuke them. Mini Cyclonic Rift them. This card, when you cast it, it's the same feeling as casting a Cyclonic Rift in EDH. That's as close as you can get in Historic Brawl. Let's see, opponent with the Blood Artist once again. We like to see this because Eldritch Norn is going to eat them all. Yep. She's going to eat a couple of Blood Artists. Right. Ascanta. Triggers. Faithful Absence. Do we need it? I mean, I'd rather flip Ascanta than having a Faithful Absence. Because these now, wow, look at this. The Saga will flip. We play Eldritch Norn. The Blood Artists die. We get ping for 4. And we can create another token. 2/2 token, but it's a 4/4, you know? Because Eldritch Norn. And we got another hand, and opponent scoops it up! Yes! We continue to play with the Tura, Azorius Tura, versus Minsk and Boo, another commander that we have recently played in the channel. This deck is bonkers. This deck is so much fun, because you don't know what you're playing. Are you playing control? Are you playing tokens? Are you going wide? Are you countering spells? So that hand was really bad, and this hand is much better. We'll see what our opponent is trying to do, but Minsk and Boo are always really scary. We start with the island to have an untapped Glacial Fortress, and then we can Mind Stone, go shields down, but accelerate our mana. There it is. Opponent, what will you do? 3 mana pass? Wow. Alright, so we can do the same thing. We can go 4 mana, pass, hold up Memory Deluge, and draw some cards. Opponent with the Shifting Ceratops, and now with Tactics versus our blue countery deck. Alright, so 4 lands with Memory Deluge. How appropriate. We will just grab a couple of lands, I guess. So maybe now we play Felidar Retreat and start making tokens. Because another thing that we need to do versus a deck like Gruul, versus Gruul in general, is to have some presence in the board. Felidar Retreat makes it so as every other land that we're going to play through the rest of the game is going to have some extra value. And I have the feeling that we will need to champ block a little bit in this game. I mean, we could take 8 for now. This token could be improved in the future. So for now we will go down to 17. We cannot take too many of those. And do we swords? I'm really hesitant. We'll see what else they play. So now we go Wrath of God, deal with their board, and then we can play Oh, no. Alright, so we are super punished for that play. I never thought they would have that. But they had 2 mana open. And now I don't know. Maybe we should have seen that. But I don't really know what was the other play. Halan and Elena. Alright, so things are getting worse by the minute. Because they will put the counters on the Ceratops and they can even make it a trample through. I guess we have to force them to pay the trample. Pay for trample. I guess. Alright. We are under a lot of pressure. We're going down to 9. And yeah. I think I will cycle the Shark Typhoon for 0, just because we need to hit something good. Emeritus is Channeler is interesting, because I think that I cannot count on playing Hullbreaker Horror. I think that we can do is either Channeler, bounce. We will be able to bounce the Halana. And also swords the shifting Ceratops, right? Oh, but we can play Leonin Livescribe and do the swords play next turn, because that allows us to pump the team with Leonin Livescribe. And that gives us so much better blockers. Thundering Raiju. Alright, so no Halana and Elena. So check this out. We can sort the shifting Ceratops. Yes, we sort the shifting. That pumps the team. And now we have very good blockers if they want to attack us. They do. Alright. Game on. Game on. Because we can block like this. And double block here. And we will keep one of our creatures. Alright, well, that paid off for us. Elvish Mystic, okay. We even have the Wandering Emperor. Now is the moment where we can also pass with the Hullbreaker Horror. Create another 2/2. Yeah, baby, we're doing it. That's the reason I love this deck. You're playing these control games, but you're also making a board full of tokens. So how is our opponent supposed to deal with all of this? Helen and Elena, she's back. We'll put the counters on the Mystic, and I think I'm even going to double block here. Alright, opponent with burn spell on the token. Many things we could do, like Wandering Emperor, put the counter on the 2/2 with first strike, but I think I'm just going to Hullbreaker at the end of their turn. There's nothing bad with going the other route, but this is just game over for them. Because now we Wandering Emperor, bounce, Halana, yeah, just too much pressure, too good. Yes! This will be our last round playing with Tura, Azorius Control, Tokens+Control versus Chatterfang. I like Chatterfang. I have played versus Chatterfang, but I've never played with Chatterfang. If you are viewing this and have a cool Chatterfang list that you would like to share with me for me to play on videos, I would really appreciate it, because I'm looking forward to do that. What I've learned about playing versus Chatterfang is that they have this infinite combo where they play the, I believe it's Pitiless Plunderer, the one that gives you a treasure every time that a creature dies. And they need a sack outlet and Chatterfang on the battlefield. And in that way, they can sacrifice a squirrel that will give them a treasure. With every treasure, Chatterfang gives them an extra squirrel, and that is an infinite loop. So depending on any other piece that they could have, they could go infinite, draw infinite cards, kill every other creature in the board. So we will pay attention to that. Opponent already with the Ravenous Squirrel and the Galagreeters. We had to search for the Supreme Verdict using the solve the equation. That's obviously very telegraphed, but I figure that we're going to need to wipe the board. Opponent can play around that, but they have already cast a Dark Ritual. We'll see what the follow-up. Alright, no fear for the opponent. Plays Chatterfang and makes a squirrel from the treasure. Puts a counter on the Galagreeters. And also a Colony Garden makes another squirrel. Alright, so opponent has done their thing, but they are terribly open to the Supreme Verdict. And we will wrath the board, no questions asked. Kill everything and see where we go from here. Alright, opponent plays a Parallel Lives, so they will double up their token production. That is a scary card. But now is our turn, and we have to take over this game as soon as possible. Land is good. We need more lands. I mean, we can go Maze Mind Tome, pass, leaving up Deluge. Opponent with a Ranger class going to start the token production. And we find and invoke the winds, but I don't think that's really good in this scenario. What are we going to yoink? A Chatterfang? I don't think so. Let's dig deep with the Memory Deluge and find something else. Alright, opponent levels up the Ranger class, so now we can Memory Deluge, find... what do we take from here? What do we need? I mean, first we need a counter for Chatterfang, and then... oh, maybe we can Fading Hope now that we have the Emeritus in hand. Because with Emeritus, every little spell becomes a cantrip. So I guess I like to do this to make this play. Archmage Emeritus has been such an MVP in this deck. We are going to trust him one more time and start drawing cards like crazy. Opponent casts the Chatterfang, so now we can do what we were saying, which is counter it, draw a card. Ooh, the Immortal Sun too, yes! Oh, this is why I love this deck so much. We are playing with the best cards. The Immortal Sun, eh? Son of a gun. Alright, opponent gets in. And we will scry with Maze Mind Tome. I guess we leave Ottawa on top. We need as many lands as possible, because if we're going to draw so many cards, then we will require as much mana as possible to double, triple spell. So let's do it. Immortal Sun is online. And now we will really start drawing cards. Guardian Project. That's a acceptable card. It's not an Immortal Sun. And with Fading Hope we can get rid of one of the tokens, plus draw a card from Archmage Emeritus. Disgusting. This is a very nice setup. Opponent has a setup too, although all their cards are kind of pieces for something else. And we are denying their actual important spells. So long we control the board like this, we will be fine. Let's do it. Bounce one of the tokens, draw a card, another land. Spell Pierce? Nah, we don't need it. And take 3. I'm constantly forgetting about scrying with Maze Mind Tome. So I guess we can do it now and on our... Zoid Kami is good, so... We are going to accept Zoid's coming. Zoid coming. Wow. Whew, these spells. Jesus. Jesus. This is so good. This is so good. And I don't even think I'm supposed to attack here. I'm super greedy always with my attacks, but even I realize that I don't even need to attack right here. We just have to pass. Keep digging with Memory Deluge. Oh, Woe Strider. That's one piece for their combo, so we know we have to counter this one. They can escape it from the graveyard, but we can also answer it with swords. Alright, so now that they are attacking with the little wolf, I guess we just swords it. Draw another card, Day of Judgment. Well, we are doing fantastically. I don't know, this is unstoppable really. Because now we can deluge, draw another card, and just crazy. We even we can even pick an Anointed Procession and just start creating our tokens. That's the crazy thing about this deck, is like while we are doing this, we will start creating our army, and that's the beauty of it. This is a beautiful deck. It's a beautiful deck. It works like a charm, because now we can go. I'm just going to run up things. I cannot even think about what's the correct sequence. Celestus, Anointed Procession, Hall. We put Tura, and that gives us access to Swan Song. So if they get really crazy, we can also march something. And yes, we have our pieces assembled, and there's nothing they can do really. Lolth, but we have an Immortal Sun. We even have that. Wow. And they might scoop here. They might really scoop here. Yes, and they did. Fantastic victory. Yeah, this is the end. Subscribe, leave a like, comment. Goodbye.